Mr. Political Leader, colleagues, my brothers and my sisters, citizens of our beloved country. Today, I have mixed emotions. I remember the pain of defeat of the June 6 general elections. Do I feel redeemed after these past 5 years? I cannot. I do not. All I can think of today is the pain inflicted on the elderly, the poor and the marginalized in our midst, those who have lost their jobs, the small businesses that have collapsed, those who have been struck down by bullets, and those who cannot even get basic medication in our health facilities for their ailments. I think two of the monumental challenges that lie ahead to restore economy, easing the pain of our people, restoring hope, pride, and dignity. As I reflect, there is so much to remember this past 5 years. The closure of the home of the Walcott family on Grass Street, the closure of Radio St. Lucia, and the loss of its precious records compiled for so many years, the privatization of the fisheries complex, denying our fisher folk a home, a place to do their business, and now they must go hawking their fish on roads and byways in nooks and crannies of this country, blaring their horns at all odd hours. Not just their horns now, but their conch shells. I remember too the end of the laptop program, the delay in opening the OKEU hospital, the brainchild of the administration that I led. The failure to complete and operationalize St. Jude Hospital, of which I shall have more to say in a few minutes. The desecration of our pitons, the end of the jazz festival as we knew it, the end of the subventions to the National Trust, out of petulance and vindictiveness. Then too, who can forget the end of the NICE program, the end of the STEP program too, as we knew it, only to replace it with an occasional version when the pressure became unbearable. And who among us can forget Chasney's insults to citizens and his apology for colonialism? Who can? And I was supposed to be the massa? Me? And please, as we reflect, do not blame these events on COVID, because all of them happened before the advent of the pandemic. By now, as we speak today, St. Jude would have been completed, occupied, delivering services to the people of the South and St. Lucia. Never forget that when we left it, it was 80% completed. Equipment had been procured. It was just a matter of installing them Finance was secured and available for its completion. Now, what do we have? A monstrosity that is incomplete. They can't finish it because they have run out of money. They have incomplete designs. And no one knows whether all the equipment ordered for the hospital have now deteriorated and have become obsolete, useless. And we have to now find more money to purchase new equipment. Millions of dollars which could have been used to attend to the needs of our people have now been wasted on an unnecessary structure. Ask yourself, all of you tonight, why was a new building needed? And why was there no urgency to complete St. Jude for the people of the South? Why? But I say to you, judge them by their own words. Just like they told you, judge them by 5 to stay alive. Judge them by their words and what they say and what they do. Listen to Guy Joseph, the minister trusted with St. Jude. Listen to him at a public meeting in June 2019, just coincidentally 2 years ago. And by the way, it was a meeting called by the United Workers' Party to mark their anniversary in office. I tell you, listen to him, because then you understand the politics of vanity and what the politics of vanity means and what damage it has caused to our country. Listen, he says, before the end of the next financial year, we will be occupying St. Jude's in the new facility. And then he says in Creole, "Ça pas just parole. Si nous pas ça deliver St. Jude, then nous pas supposé un gouvernement." Now, I have not attempted to mimic Guy Joseph. I have not attempted to speak as he speaks. I am merely quoting his words exactly as he said it. And the point to be taken is that by his own utterances, in other words, the hospital should have been completed in April 2020. By his own words, Guy Joseph's words, the UWP did not finish St. Jude, and if they did not finish St. Jude, then they're not supposed to be in government. They must go. You have breached a fundamental trust between you and those whom you govern. And for me, I am drawn to the South. In the South, a new administrative complex would have been in existence. Services would have been decentralized. The people of the South would not have had to travel to Castries 3 or 4 times to get birth certificates, passports, and the like. More jobs would have been created both during construction and after. Another project of the St. Lucia Labour Party unceremoniously stopped just to punish the people of Beaufort South and its representative, Kenny Anthony. To teach me a lesson, they said. And what more vanity can you want more than this? You destroy a community undermine a community, affect a community. Why? Just to teach the parliamentary representative a lesson? What greater example of the politics of vanity can we see? Then there is that terminal at the Hiwanora International Airport. And make no mistake about it, we have to be concerned about it. I have to be concerned about it because Hiwanora International Airport lies in my constituency, and the people of Vieux South has a responsibility to the rest of the nation because we hold it in trust for the people of St. Lucia. And had the St. Lucia Labour Party been in office, the new terminal at Hiwanora would have been nearing completion if the PPP arrangement which the SLP had negotiated under the guidance of the World Bank, the watchful eyes of the World Bank, to prevent corruption, if it had been allowed to continue. But most importantly, no new debt would have been incurred. Now today, because of Chasney's insistence that the government must decide who to give lucrative contracts, we have a debt of over $600 million and counting around our necks. Why? Under the SLP, under the guidance of the World Bank, the PPP arrangement, which was won by public tender, would have been a lease with the lessor mandated to construct a new terminal. Not a cent would have been borrowed. Just stick a pin. Pause. Think for a moment. $600 million and climbing. Just imagine if we had not had the debt around our necks, at least we would have had more space to finance our COVID response. So I ask you today to think of the politics of vanity and what it is doing to us as a people and as a country. Truth is, it is consuming us, destroying our children, the very foundations of our future. So now you can understand why I have all of these mixed feelings. What a difference it would have made if our children had their laptops in these times. Our children's education has taken a blow which could have been attenuated, minimized, or even prevented. Remember, Chasney's government ended the laptop program. And I say to you again momentarily, stick a pin. Why would a government do something like this? Strip children of their right to get laptops? What drives Chasney? What drives the UWP that it would do something like that? Why? Remember the famous slogans. They said, children cannot eat laptops. But what's the truth? What's the truth? They never wanted the St. Lucia Labour Party to be recorded in history as a government that elevated the opportunities of education for the children of the poor. They did not understand what it meant for a child who lived in Bruceville, the Mang, or the Bacadere in Vieux Fort to have a laptop, to be able to seek the same information that a child in Norway, in France, in Holland, in England, in Canada, in the United States, in Egypt, in the Middle East, in Israel, could have access to the same information that the children in those countries would have had. But I say to you, our passion for education must live on. Our passion for education must never die. Why? Because it liberates us, it liberates our children. And I say to them that our record speaks for itself. As the government which built the most schools, abolished the system, the shift system, and introduced universal secondary education institution. We are the government that did all of these things. And I'm sorry today, I have been allocated so little time to speak to you, but there will be another occasion. But let me conclude on this note. This United Workers' Party of the Chasnays have betrayed our country, discarded the ideals we once knew as a nation, exposed us to ridicule and contempt by the actions and utterances of Chasnay himself. They have betrayed not just the country. Chasnay and his cabal have betrayed the UWP supporters. They have betrayed the principles and the vision of Sir John Compton. They have betrayed the brand that was once the United Workers' Party. The truth is this: Chasnay's UWP has turned on their own supporters. And that is the monumental tragedy of the times. That is the cost of the politics of retribution, of vindictiveness, and of vanity. Chasnay's UWP hijacked and prostituted the UWP brand, the party, and the country. After 5 years in office, their legacy is one of disappointment, despair, and destruction. I tell you, St. Lucia deserves better. I tell you, our children deserve better. I say to you, you deserve better. You deserve a government that puts you first. Let us take our country. Let us take back our country from this cabal. Restore our pride and secure our future by voting the St. Lucia Labour Party. I thank you and wish you a good and pleasant evening.